Right now, a person was killed and another injured after multiple gunshots were fired Thursday night in Beloit. What we know so far. Also, a local concert is bringing in the Kwanzaa spirit. We'll take you there. And we're following Madisonians as they share their New Year's resolutions. Hear what they had to say. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. A bit warm for December day, so with that, let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, how does it feel out there?
You know, a little bit chilly, but we're beginning to get the clouds to move back in. We're still very mild for this time of year, regardless of the fact that I feel chilly. Our temperatures are still very warm compared to where they should be, as many of us are still sitting in those 30s, if not the 40s. Some of us closer to Milwaukee are actually still in the 50s at this hour. Clouds are continuing to move on in out of the south. Our next weather system is moving out of the lower Mississippi River Valley, and that's out ahead of that, the cloud cover that's increasing. Upper 30s to mid 40s for temperatures. It's 49 in Milwaukee, 38 in Madison, 43 Mineral Point. We'll take it in closer into Dunn County, 36 Waunakee, 35 in Middleton, 41 there for those of us in Edgerton. Our next system isn't expected to bring us rain until Sunday, mainly further east. So I would say even west of Dunn County, maybe some light rain to drizzle. And then further east, that's going to be more of that light moderate rain activity, especially along the Lake Michigan shoreline there as this low moves through the Midwest. Otherwise, we're going to be generally quiet as we look to end your weekend. Still a very mild night and a mild Sunday, but the cold of winter is going to return. We're tracking the big cool down in just a few minutes.
Blaze, thank you. And to stay up to date on that big cool down, you can do that by going to our First Warn Forecast weather app. It is hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar. And you can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. A person was killed and another injured after multiple gunshots were fired Thursday night in Beloit. Police there say a man died shortly after they arrived on the scene and a woman is expected to survive. Richard Wyman and his family ducked for cover after hearing more than a dozen shots were fired. Wyman moved to the neighborhood a few months ago and said the situation is rare.
All of a sudden I just heard bang, 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 and it was a whole series of them. I jumped up. I kind of looked out the door, and my son came downstairs. Get out of the door, there's something going on. It's a little traumatic. It kind of shakes you up a little bit.
Beloit police say they can't confirm if they have identified any suspects or if anyone is in custody. The department is asking for witnesses to speak out. If you heard or saw the shooting in Beloit, please reach out to BPD. The Dunn County Traffic Safety Commission is urging motorists to drive sober or get pulled over. So far this year in Dunn County, 16 people have died and 256 were injured in impaired driving crashes. Over the last 5 years, there were nearly 1,100 impaired driving crashes, resulting in 74 deaths and over 1,300 injuries.
Let that sink in. That's leaving empty chairs for families, holidays, birthday celebrations, and times together. And that's because of alcohol and drug-related crashes in our community.
Police say if you plan to celebrate New Year's, to identify a sober and designated driver, contact a family member or call a taxi or rideshare service. If you do suspect the driver is impaired, you should call 911 and provide as much detail as possible about the driver, vehicle, and location. And the Dunn County Sheriff's Office in northwestern Wisconsin is mourning the loss of a correctional officer, Jeff Reynolds, who served for 17 years. Reynolds was killed early Christmas Eve when a suspected drunk driver ran a stop sign and hit his vehicle on Highway 12. The driver is being charged with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle and is being held on a $75,000 bond. The Wisconsin State Patrol is investigating the crash. Officer Reynolds is remembered as a valued member of the department. A Wisconsin man is accused of fatally shooting 31-year-old Kadisha Birch in Shelbyville, Kentucky on Friday. Police arrested 23-year-old Roosevelt Davis III during a traffic stop. Logan Peroni has more on what authorities say led up to the gunfire.
Davis is charged with murder, attempted murder, and burglary. According to his arrest citation, he admitted to robbing a bank in Wisconsin and using that money to buy 2 guns. It says he then drove to Kentucky with the intention of killing the victims, where he fired at least 10 rounds into the home. Back on October 5th, Birch was actually arrested in Harrodsburg for the attempted murder of Davis. That citation outlining another domestic incident between the two, where she claims that he strangled her before she was able to grab his gun and shoot. Court records show Birch posted bail just 4 days ago for that incident. A family member told us that Davis had been sending threatening text messages to her family since that incident.
State police say the other victim in the home, a 52-year-old woman, was taken to a hospital for treatment. Today is the third day of Kwanzaa. The holiday celebrates African-American culture with 7 principles. Today's principle is Ojima. This means collective responsibility. The holiday is meant to bring everyone together. A local group gathered at Madison Children's Museum to perform traditional West African songs and teach the community about Kwanzaa. Tonight at 10, we're taking a look at the concert celebrating Kwanzaa and the ways you can celebrate at home. We are just a few days to welcoming in 2025 and saying goodbye to 2024. And with every new year comes New Year's resolutions. So News 3 caught up with some Madisonians on what their resolutions are for the new year.
I want to read more. I want to go to the gym. I know everyone says that, but I want to go to the gym.
I think I'm going to try read some more books.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Yeah. I've got to learn how to speak more Hawaiian.
I need to study places other than my room, so I'm gonna get out of there and study at like the library or anywhere else but my room.
Just embracing things, new opportunities, get out there and smile more. Brotherhood, you know, just less badgering, even if you're around WISC.
Well, I hope all of you accomplish that heading into the new year. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, a popular grocery chain could be bringing more stores to the Badger State. Find out who. Plus, a look at the shopping numbers this holiday season. You could be in for a surprise. And
I'm Cristian Benavides in Delray Beach, Florida, where eyewitnesses say it sounded like a loud explosion. One woman says she saw a man crawling out from the wreckage.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
thank you for sticking with us. Well, depending on where you live, you're going to need some quarters for shopping carts. Aldi is expanding. The discount grocery store chain has announced it will be opening 17 new stores across 9 states. They are in Alabama, Florida, Missouri, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. However, it's unclear where the stores will actually when they will actually open. Aldi has previously announced that it plans to open 800 new stores in the U.S. by the end of 2028. Once all those stores are open, the German grocer says it will be operating roughly 3,200 stores across the nation. It's the most wonderful time of the year, for retailers that is. Total U.S. retail spending grew 3.8% this year compared to last year. That's according to preliminary data from MasterCard. And it's no surprise that shoppers took advantage of the online deals they found, clicking their way to 6.7% of year-over-year e-commerce growth. But it might not be all good news. Economists believe this kind of consumer spending could be a warning sign for things to come.
We are overdue by historical standards for a recession, and the kind of behavior you're seeing now is often the kind of behavior you see when you're at the top of a market cycle.
Financial experts recommend consumers pay down their debt and locking in lower interest rates as we head into 2025. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the nation is expected to reach its debt limit later in January. That's even though the debt ceiling is officially reinstated on January 2nd. In a letter sent to congressional leaders on Friday, Yellen says on January 2nd, the nation's outstanding debt will actually decrease a bit. So she tells Congress hitting the debt limit won't happen until sometime between the 14th and the 23rd of January. Yellen does warn that at that time, the Treasury will need to take so-called extraordinary measures in order to pay the federal government's bills on time and in full. Once the debt ceiling is reached, the Treasury Secretary informs Congress with an outline of how to proceed. The nation's current debt ceiling stands at about $36.1 trillion. A high-speed passenger train crashed into a fire truck in Delray Beach, Florida on Saturday morning, injuring multiple passengers and at least 3 firefighters. CBS News correspondent Cristian Benavides is in Delray Beach with the latest there and holiday travel around the nation.
In the middle of the holiday travel season, a high-speed passenger train and a Delray Beach fire truck collided.
It sounded like a slow motion of like a bunch of aluminum cans being crushed. It was the most bizarre sound and it was really loud.
I heard like it sounded like a building was falling. It like crashed and it was like kaboom. I was really scared. I hoped everybody was okay.
We all ran out of the restaurants along with everybody else in all the restaurants.
3 Delray Beach firefighters were transported to a local hospital.
All 3 firefighters were transported. 2 of them were transported to Delray Beach Medical Center in serious condition. They were trauma alerted. 2 of them were trauma alerted. At this time, all are in stable condition.
The Saturday morning incident in the downtown of this beach community left the Brightline train stopped on its tracks, while the front half of the train was ripped off. In a statement, the city of Delray Beach says an active investigation into the cause of the collision is underway by the Delray Beach Police Department, officials from Brightline, and the National Transportation Safety Board. Meanwhile, extreme weather has been presenting challenges across parts of the U.S., including canceled and delayed flights. But many travelers are going with the flow.
I wasn't anticipating that, that's for sure.
It's been pretty smooth, actually. No complaints.
It better keep moving that way.
Large sections of the South, including Texas and Louisiana, have been grappling with suspected tornadoes and severe weather this holiday week. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Delray Beach, Florida.
Officials and travel experts are urging people to have a plan and patience to get to their destination safely. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, how a winter storm in parts of the country is impacting people's travel back home from the holidays. Plus, Blaze is back with a complete look of your first word forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for staying with us. Holiday travelers returning home this weekend could contend with more delays at airports as severe thunderstorms intensify in the south and a parade of atmospheric river-fueled storms slams the west. Millions are under tornado watch across the south, where a level 4 out of 5 for severe weather exists. John Lawrence has more.
Severe weather is expected across the south on Saturday with an outbreak of severe storms and possible tornadoes. Millions are under watches that extend from Texas to Alabama.
We do have a prolonged period of strong to severe thunderstorms, already seeing power outages beginning to mount.
The impacts come as millions of holiday travelers make their way back home. More than 18,000 flights around the U.S. were delayed or canceled Thursday and Friday, and as of Saturday afternoon, more than 100 flights have been canceled Saturday in the U.S., according to FlightAware.com.
This is going to be where most of the delays will be confined today, but notice that we do have the threat for some travel delays across the Northwest as well.
Meanwhile, out west, the risk of heavy rain and mountain snow is expected this weekend. 1 to 2 feet of snow is forecasted across the Northwest and Rockies, causing travel headaches for some drivers.
I got a little freaked out, so I called my parents, and so they were like, just pull over, see what you guys can do.
We got stuck in the snow and we couldn't put on these chains, and he helped us put this on.
Winter weather alerts are in place in parts of the Cascades and Rockies. Heavy rainfall is also expected in parts of the Pacific Northwest, where the area could see up to 10 inches through the weekend. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Yeah, hopefully everybody makes it home safely. Let's get a look at your first one forecast. Blaze joins us now.
And that same low pressure system that's bringing severe weather to parts of the Gulf Coast this evening is the same one that's going to bring, I would say, eastern parts of Wisconsin, the rain chance on your Sunday. We touched on that at the top of the newscast, and we'll see it here in just a moment. But the big story, there's two of them. We're looking to remain quiet as we go into your New Year's Eve celebration time frame, and then we're set to cool on down as we go into those first few days of January. So our one low pressure system is continuing to move off into parts of southern Canada as we go overnight into your Sunday. Clouds are going to continue to increase, and we may be dealing with some fog overnight into the morning hours on Sunday. Already seen dense fog advisories out into parts of Iowa, so we'll keep you updated if those advisories make it here across central and southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at that low pressure system I mentioned, bringing rain to mainly eastern parts of our coverage area as we go over your Sunday into Monday. I don't think we're going to tap into the cold enough air to turn some of that rain over to snow, but if we do, snow accumulations are going to be minimal to none. However, we are expecting to stay mild on your Sunday and even further into Monday as well. This is that low pressure system that's going to continue to move its way across parts of the Midwest throughout mainly the daytime hours on New Year's Eve. Maybe we get some light snow, probably leaning more flurries for your Tuesday. But then as we go into the time frame when we're ringing in the new year and saying goodbye to 2024, we are looking to stay quiet, mostly cloudy, a little bit breezy with temperatures hanging out in those mid to upper 20s. And then the cold arrives. We're sitting at about a 60 to 70% chance of cooler than average temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days, so our extended forecast. And then if we extend that even further out, 8 to 14 days, we see not only the cooler than normal trend continuing, but that bullseye of higher confidence levels moving its way back further north and west. Again, the further you go out, the models really do like to have fun and kind of imagine what could happen. So we look for trends, and we're continuing to see that cooler than average trend, indicating to us that the models are picking up on at least that cool down. Maybe not necessarily the exact temperatures, but that we will be cooler than average. So starting New Year's Day all the way through the rest of our extended forecast, we're looking to be cooler than where we should be for this time of year. So if you enjoy the warmth, you've got a few more days, and then we're set to cool on down. Upper 30s to low 40s for your Sunday. Again, that rain chance mainly further to the east, and you can track out any shower activity not only tomorrow, but throughout the next, well, indefinitely, forever, I guess, by using our First Warn Weather app's interactive radar. There is a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. Again, we're looking at a cool down, maybe some flurries though by next weekend. And if the models are correct, they really want to bring down some cooler air around the 6th, 7th, 8th time frame of January. January, and that would put our daytime highs in the teens and overnight lows right around 0 degrees. So don't put away that winter jacket quite yet.
I can't believe I'm looking at the 7 and 10 day and I'm seeing 2025 on the other side of it. It is mind-boggling just how fast this year's going by.
Yeah, days away, and it has been quite a year, so hopefully 2025 is a little more relaxed.
A little bit more mellow, especially for you guys. I mean, I know you have your year-ender
for
article
everybody,
up.
truly.
Yeah. All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Still ahead, Wisconsin women's basketball looks to continue a strong start. And just the highlights from the battle with the Hoosiers next in sports.
Williams can't convert on the inside. Second.
Wisconsin women's basketball is off to their best start in 15 years, winning 10 of their first 12 games. But today was a big test, going to Indiana, who threw the first punch, and they threw it hard. Hoosiers on a 20-2 scoring run in the first, and Sarah Williams puts her foot down, gets the second chance bucket to go. She finished with a baker's dozen points and 11 rebounds. And later, Badgers on their own run at this point. Still in the first, they've scored 8 straight. Ronnie Porter hits the three and makes it 11 in a row. Wisconsin would close the first quarter on a 14-6 run, but it would be their last gasp. The Hoosiers would outscore Wisconsin 21-6 in the second quarter alone, and Bucky couldn't respond. Indiana would go on to win this one and win it big, 83-52, the final score. High school boys hoops, Oregon ringing in the new year, hosting Verona, and the Panthers pounced early. Von Carvala, the 6'7 junior, went full on Vince Carter. Mason Hoffer puts it on a platter for the big man. who throws it down. Carvalho turned this thing into a 1990s dunk contest mid-game with a reverse jam. You just don't see that at the high school level. It helped Oregon hang with the 6th-ranked Wildcats for a while, but eventually Verona willed their way to a win. Great ball movement here, and Amari Phillips fills it up. Verona comes out victorious. They win it 73-55. And the Bucks are back in action tonight, playing the Bulls, but they'll do it without Giannis, who is out due to an illness. Damian Lillard, on the other hand, will return to the floor after a 4-game absence. Lillard was battling a calf injury and an illness of his own. The Bucks are 14-5 since November 12th and sit in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the guys that never get much credit, the offensive line. They've helped the running back for the Packers, Josh Jacobs, find the end zone a career-high 13 times this season and have protected Jordan Love like their life depends on it. Now, Jacob gave every member of the Packers offensive line their own diamond chain with the number 8 on it, and he says that's because a lot of his success this year is because of the big guys.
I think it's been special how personal they take that. You can see even on any run or even short passes, you see all the guys running and pushing the pile and things like that. And I think that's all mentality, So when you have a group of guys collectively all have that same mentality, it makes guys dangerous. It makes guys scary. So for me, man, I love playing with guys that got that grit and that kind of mentality. So it's been fun.
And Blaze, I saw people golfing today.
Oh,
that seems unbelievable after a white Christmas, right?
Yeah,
Were you out there with them or no?
I wish. I saw them and I was like, I should have done that.
It's been warm. We haven't had any snow.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a little soggy out there, but we are going to stay quiet tonight. Some fog and some cloud cover moves on in, and we should stay cloudy and mild for your Sunday as well.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you, Andrew. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.